Hey, today I'll be talking about episodes 15 through 17 of RuYi's Royal Love. RuYi remains locked up in her palace, and despite Eunuch Wang's totally unbiased investigation, signs still point to RuYi as the culprit who let the news about Mei's deformed baby slip. With RuYi out of the picture, Hui resumes her efforts to win the first prince over to her side.
你告诉皇上，从此以后你就跟着本宫了。
皇阿玛若有旨意，自会告诉永皇的。永皇岂有自己去求的道理？
The way Hui's facade slips so easily, it's clear that even if RuYi is permanently imprisoned, she is not a good alternative. She couldn't even pretend to be nice for a solid 5 minutes. Also, when a 10-year-old can easily outwit you, it's time to rethink your life. Though RuYi is not allowed out, First Prince is still allowed to be with her, and though he's strong and loyal on the outside, on the inside he is still a scared child.
儿子定是不会跟着惠娘娘，但是儿子心里有点害怕。
The way he was treated growing up, it would have been so easy for him to develop a nasty personality, but he has such a good heart. He's lucky to have RuYi, but she's lucky to have him too. With Eunuch Wang faking as much evidence as possible to make RuYi look guilty, it seems like the perfect time to get Lian Xin out of her sham marriage. 2 birds, 1 stone.
哟，公公回来啦！
When Wang gets home one night, he finds Lian Xin uncharacteristically welcoming. She gives him tea and the stimulants he usually takes at night to make abusing her more arousing. Ugh, that's a sentence you don't want to say. Lian Xin suggests a fun game of hide and seek before they adjourn to the bedroom. He's a bit dazed after taking more of the drug than usual in his excitement, and she's able to get him to follow her voice outside. He's really out of it, and she starts saying she's noble consort Hui and she wants him. This drug must be pretty strong because he is straight up hallucinating. She slowly leads him to the actual noble consort Hui, and when he spots her, he immediately starts groping her. RuYi and Hailan hear the commotion outside. I love how excited RuYi is. She knows exactly what's going on. From her gate, technically not outside of her palace, RuYi hears Hui approach, yelling about the injustice she's just been through.
贵妃没事吧？
I would just like to draw attention to this little half-step Hailan takes when Hui walks threateningly over to RuYi. Have I mentioned that I love her? The Emperor is called over. Despite the fact that she was just threatening RuYi a second ago, Hui immediately turns the waterworks on.
皇上！
They decide to handle this in RuYi's palace since it's right there and they don't want to be overheard. Wang's too far gone and they can't get anything out of him. So Liu suggests calling his wife Lian Xin. The doctor reports that Wang is high as a kite on a banned aphrodisiac. Then Lian Xin tells and shows everyone the kinds of things Wang has been doing to her. She still has to look out for her family and make sure to say that the Empress had no idea. While I do wish for a blow to the Empress here because her behavior was so disgusting, I get it, this is not the time. The Emperor tells his servants to break one of Wang's legs and kick him out of the palace. He annuls the marriage between Lian Xin and Wang, and she is sent back to live with the Empress. The saddest thing is that he offers to send her home, like an honorable discharge if you will. But because she knows her siblings need the money she earns, she asks to be sent back to the Empress's palace. I mean, Lian Xin deserves so much better than this. Before she goes, Lian Xin tells the Emperor that RuYi isn't responsible for the rumors about Mei's baby getting out. It was Wang with the loose lips, and he's been forcing all the witnesses to lie to frame RuYi. A little quid pro quo. With that offense, the Emperor decides to instead give Wang a public execution, and RuYi is released with a clear reputation. And more good news, with Wang Xin gone, the next highest ranked and the person who will be at the Emperor's side from now on is Liu! As for Lian Xin, though she is free from Wang Xin, this is in no way a happy ending.
是本宫误了莲心，不过暂时也不能放她出宫，免得将我们拿她笼络王亲、探知皇上的心意的事情说出去。
奴婢原想，就算莲心要出宫，有她弟妹在手，也不怕她胡说。
That psycho music is exactly right. The Empress is really chilling to me. She can say she feels bad all she wants, but I don't really think she feels anything for anyone other than herself. She's like a psychopath faking emotions with words but not really meaning them. Don't get me wrong, Su Lian is really messed up too, but I don't know, with maids, especially head maids, I feel like you're kind of stuck having to say exactly what your master wants to hear at all times. So when your mistress is doing something evil, you pat her on the back and tell her she had no choice in the matter, that she's still a good person. Whatever it takes to keep that paycheck coming. No one is forcing the Empress to be the way that she is, though. In yet another family meeting, the Empress Dowager does make sure to bring up that the Empress showed poor judgment in marrying Lian Xin off to Eunuch Wang. By the way, I am so on board with the slowly deteriorating relationship between the Empress and the Empress Dowager. Initially, the Empress Dowager's list of requirements for daughter-in-law were not RuYi, good family, and not RuYi. But now that she's actually getting to know Langhua, I don't think she's liking what she sees. The Emperor is also not happy with her, and she begins to lose some of her governing responsibilities to RuYi, who is now seen as the pinnacle of grace and good behavior for her mature handling of the baby rumor case. I cannot believe the Empress has the nerve to try and complain about this, but she's immediately shut down.
贤妃之上还有贵妃，贤妃年纪还轻，
这持世之稳重，无关于年纪长幼，贵妃身子虚弱。
Even the Empress Dowager won't hear it. Slowly starting to come around on RuYi, RuYi is given the responsibility of budgeting for the assorted palaces. A very sore spot for the Empress because though her aggressive budgeting has saved the palace a lot of money, everyone pretty much hates it. I especially love this dig from the Empress Dowager after she gives the pregnant noble lady Yi an expensive gift.
谢太后厚爱。
哀家赐给宜贵人的这对麒麟金锁，皇后不会嫌哀家老糊涂了吧？
The Empress feels her control slipping and takes it out on her son, putting him under more and more pressure to study and be the best so he can stand out as the obvious choice for crown prince. When he starts to get sleepy during one study session, she forces him to stand by the door so the cold air will keep him alert. Predictably, he catches a cold. Do they not have parenting books in this era? Page 1, don't do this. He takes a turn for the worse and they call a doctor in who tells him that actually second prince has been like this since he was born. Because he was never particularly active, it never showed up. But now that he's got this severe cold in addition to a bunch of stress from his mom over the last few months, it's not looking good for him. She's not even worried about him, she immediately starts thinking about how this affects his prospects for being the crown prince and how that will affect her life.
不能骑马射箭，不能习武，这以后还有什么指望？
Again, I ask, is the Empress a psychopath? RuYi goes to visit noble lady Yi and see how her pregnancy is coming along. They rush in to find Yi in bed being approached by a poisonous snake. RuYi instructs the servants on how to catch it and it's taken away. Yi is terrified. She says she was sleeping and suddenly saw it fall from the ceiling. First suspect has gotta be Hui, whose eunuch is really into snakes and, by the way, has got the worst case of crazy eyes I have ever seen. Later though, we find that they're just as confused as we are. The Emperor and co show up to check on her as well. The Empress worries that there may be more snakes in the area and suggests that Yi stay with her until they can find a more suitable place. The Emperor agrees, and then, as if waiting for a cue, noble lady Jia steps in. She says the Empress has been really busy taking care of the sick second prince and she's stretching herself too thin trying to do everything. She suggests that Yi stay with RuYi instead. Since RuYi just saved her life, Yi is more than willing to stay with her, but this whole thing stinks of a plot. Still, with pushing from Yi and Jia, the Emperor has no choice but to agree. I tell you, I would be kicking and screaming to find an excuse not to have this ticking time bomb of a pregnant woman in my palace. I have a cold, my palace has got mold, remember my really bad flatulence problem? Could affect the baby. Just whatever it takes, because obviously this can't end well. All of this started with Jia suggesting Yi's palace be renovated.
这宜贵人有孕，臣妾瞧着她住的景阳宫也许久没有粉刷了。
And then coincidentally during renovations, a snake pops up. And then coincidentally, she suggests that Yi stay with you. Yeah, no. I want to say I hate these suspense plots where you're just waiting for the inevitable explosion, but who am I kidding? They're half the fun. Speaking of which, I love the resolution of the baby rumor plot. It was more like 5 birds with 1 stone. Lian Xin divorced, Hui punished, RuYi free, got rid of Wang Qin, and Liu got his promotion. RuYi doesn't like to scheme, but when she does it well. Final note, they're making Yi seem like this poor, innocent pregnant woman now, but she was more than happy to pile on Hailan when everyone else was. I like it though. People always see themselves as the lead in their own stories. Yi is just as shitty as the rest of them, but I'm sure all she's thinking now is, why are so many bad things happening to me? I'm just an innocent pregnant woman. Are you though? Till next time, thanks for watching.